so much to everyone who has tuned in to this video. I truly appreciate you. And if you're new here and you enjoy whispered true crime, please consider subscribing to the channel. I post 2 times a week, on Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. I recommend using headphones if you would like to hear the gentle mic brushing. Now, before we get started, please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. And please leave it a like if you don't mind. Thank you very much. Okay, so tonight we are traveling down to Tennessee. Shout out to all my friends in Tennessee. So the year was 2017, and this occurred in a small farming town called Culleoka, Tennessee. And this case involves 2 people. 15-year-old Elizabeth Thomas and her teacher, 50-year-old Ted Cummins. So let's start with Elizabeth. She grew up with 2 parents, and she was one of 5 siblings. She and her siblings were all homeschooled by their mother. Now, unfortunately, their mother was extremely abusive physically to the children. And the father worked round the clock, according to what he said, as an exterminator in order to earn enough money to support their large family. And he did not know about the physical abuse, but it was very bad. And then one day, the mother beat Elizabeth's sister with a 2x4. So that is a piece of lumber, wood, I don't know exactly how you explain it, but in case you never heard of a 2x4, it's wood, basically. And the girls were so scared, and they could not take it anymore. So Elizabeth and her sister wrote a secret letter to the Department of Children and Family Services, and they secretly mailed it. This was in 2016. So I presume Elizabeth was around 14. And her sister was similar in age, but I'm not sure exactly if she was a little older or a little younger. So anyway, the Department of Children and Family Services received the letter, and they acted on it. They sent some sheriffs over to the house and some social workers. The father was taken off guard. He had no idea this was going to happen. And the mother was arrested. She was removed from the home. Now, as that case played out, some sort of plea bargain was made and the case was expunged. That's all I can tell you about that. But she didn't return to the home till friendship circles had already been formed. People had known each other for years, and there she was, this new girl. And she was extremely vulnerable. First off, she had just come from a horrible childhood of physical abuse. And now here she is in this school where people are not being kind to her. But one good thing is she is put in the health class with the most popular teacher. His name is Ted Cummins. Everybody wants him as their teacher. He is super fun, super laid back. He allows them to keep their cell phones when they're not supposed to be able to. He tells them to call him Ted. The teachers liked him too, so he was popular all around, but the kids liked him the most. So she is in his class. Now, let's just step back a second and tell you about him. So I said he was 50 in the year 2017. He was married. He had married in 1985 to the love of his life. They had 2 girls who were adults by this point, like young adults, and they even had at least 1 grandchild. He had originally worked as a respiratory therapist, and it was said of him that he was critical of the other workers. He was often kind of a bully there, and he could not stand to be told no about anything. And for some reason, he decided to change his career to become a teacher, which was a lot less lucrative. But a former coworker of his at the hospital said that by being a teacher, his ego would be stroked a lot more, and he wouldn't be told no very much, and it would just make him a lot happier. So he became a teacher. Now, he and his family were extremely religious people. Religion was said to be the center of their lives. They went to church on the regular. And his family saw him as a wonderful, wonderful husband, father, a great provider, a protector. He was their rock. They had nothing bad to say. So anyway, back to school. Now, one day, Elizabeth was in the cafeteria, and some friends, she did have some friends apparently, some friends asked her if she was hungry, and she said, quote, "I don't have a soul, or if I did, I'd be hungry." And out of nowhere, Ted Cummins appeared, and he responded, quote, "My soul sees your soul." And that's kind of where it started. He said that to her. She felt like he understood her. She felt they had a connection, and their relationship just started to blossom from that point forward. She felt like she finally had found an adult who she could trust, someone who could help her, protect her. Because don't forget, what adult did she have in her life who had ever done anything good for her? I mean, let's think about it, you know. Her mom, absolutely not. Her father, although he worked and that was important, you know, that was necessary, but he was not there to protect her from the violence. Now, she was dealing with a lot of mental health She was a member of the family. The wife had no idea that anything wrong could possibly be going on. Now, Ted started telling outrageous stories to Elizabeth, and she kind of didn't believe them, but she listened anyway. He said he used to work for the CIA, he was involved in killing bin Laden, blah blah blah. And after some time, they began texting on Instagram. They each made a Finsta account. That's a fake Instagram account, so it's not the one where you post the pictures of what you're doing and the food you're eating for the public to see. It's a fake one that you just share with a select few. Lots of people have them, but in this case, it's kind of weird, you know. They made one for each other so that they could send DMs back and forth. And the DMs started becoming kind of romantic. And then from romantic, they turned to kind of explicit. And he began sexting with her. And things got even worse. They started doing things physically for real. He would pick her up from her job at Chick-fil-A and they would do stuff in the car. He would take her into the closet of his classroom and have her do things to him in the closet. But one day in January of 2017, a student, a 12-year-old, walked in and saw Elizabeth and Ted kissing. Now, it was just a peck, but still. The student brought a friend of hers to talk to Mr. Cummins and asked him, and he denied it, but the student went and reported it. And so the school looked into it, but they could find no evidence that it had really happened. Now, the school never bothered to tell Elizabeth's father about this at all. But when the police became notified, I'm not sure who told them, if the school told the police as part of their investigation just to cover themselves, whatever, but the police became involved as well. And when the sheriff went to talk to the father, he was like, "What are you talking about?" Now, could you imagine that this had happened? Someone had reported that your child was seen kissing a teacher and the school never told you. So, he went out and hired a lawyer. The lawyer asked the school to make a no-contact order between the teacher and the student. And when he wound up actually breaking that order, he was suspended from his job. Now, meanwhile, the police had interviewed everyone involved, and Elizabeth explained it that she was having an anxiety attack and nobody kissed anyone, but she believes that he held both of her hands and tried to calm her down. And then he spoke to the police and he said the same thing about the anxiety attack, but he said he put his hand on her arm, by her shoulder, to calm her. And the police said, "She said you held her wrists." And he said, "Oh, well, I could have done that." And they're like, "Well, did you maybe hug her?" And he's like, "No, or maybe even hurt somebody in her family if she didn't go, according to her. So she packed her bags, she woke up her sister, it was like 8 in the morning or something, and she said, if I'm not back by 6 p.m., call the police. So she goes to meet him at Shoney's restaurant. He goes, fills up the tank with gas, and picks her up at Shoney's. She said he had a gun in the in-between, what do you call that area? In between the two seats at the console. He had a gun there. And she knew that she wasn't getting out of there, that she was stuck now, she was trapped. And they hit the road. They went and they dyed their hair different colors. Hers was dyed red. He darkened his hair. At some point, he made them both throw their cell phones into the Tennessee River so that they couldn't be tracked. Now, meanwhile, later that evening, Tad's wife finds a letter from him saying he's gone to clear his head, either in Washington, D.C. or Virginia Beach. And it said that she should not call the police. But she found that he had taken their 2 guns from the safe, as well as $4,000 in cash. So the next morning she did call the police, and she told them that. And he had also just filled his prescription for Cialis, which is like Viagra. So that's troubling. And he had done some searches on his computer, like what state allows you to marry a teenage girl. Now, over at the Thomas house, when Elizabeth did not come home, it doesn't seem like the sister reported anything at 6 o'clock. I didn't find anything about that, but the father became aware that she was missing, and he ultimately reported it to police, who then said, well, turns out she and Ted Cummins are both missing. So they knew right away that they were together, and it was a kidnapping. So the FBI and the TBI, which is the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, they both jumped on this case because they were very fearful of what was going to ultimately happen, especially since he had 2 guns. So, over the time while they were gone, the 2 of them, they sometimes slept in the car, they traveled on back roads. At one point they bought a kayak for $1,000 and tried to paddle it to Mexico. But they didn't realize how as did Elizabeth, that they were looking for them, so they knew that. And he made a decision that they would go and join a commune in California. But it was very hard to find. It was way off the beaten path. It was a place where they had no internet, no nothing, just a true commune where the people just stayed there, worked on the land, just very, very off the grid. So on his way there, they got lost, they ran out of gas, they had no money. They happened upon a small town called Cecilville, where a nice man offered to help them, gave them $15 worth of gas, and said he might know someone who could give them a job, just a short-term kind of job to make some money. But then it turned out that that guy didn't have any work for them. So they left with their $15 worth of gas. They found the commune and they moved in, saying that she was his wife. They always said that she was about 22 and he was about 40, and they were married. Everywhere they went, that's what they said. Now, at this commune, they were supposed to wake up every morning and start working, but they never did. They would sleep all day. So, the people at the commune decided to throw them out. And Ted got very angry. Oh, he used to carry a pocket knife around all the time, and they said he wasn't supposed to do that. That was another rule that he was breaking, so they threw him out. So angrily they left, and they headed back to Cecilville to get some more help from the nice man who they saw the last time. Now when they went to see the same guy who supposedly had work for them, they went to see him again. And he said to the first guy, "Hey, those are those people who have that Amber Alert out. That's the kidnapper guy and the student that he kidnapped." So they reported it to the police. A SWAT team showed up, and Ted was arrested, and Elizabeth was rescued. Now, at first, Elizabeth denied that anything wrong happened there. She was very protective of Ted. He had told her when he saw the police, he said, "Don't tell them anything." So she listened, and she was upset, actually, that she had been separated from him, and she didn't want anything bad to happen to him. But after some time and some therapy, she was able to come to terms with what really happened, and that he had manipulated her and he had used her for sex. And yes, they had sexual relations while they were on the run. Quite often. And he had been extremely manipulative of her the whole time. He had said he doesn't like fat girls. He tried to get her to lose weight. He didn't feed her very much. She supposedly lost a lot of weight while they were gone, which I didn't mention. They were gone for 38 days, from March 13th to April 20th. He was very afraid that she might try to escape while they were together, so he would make her sleep naked and he would hide her clothes so she couldn't leave. In 2019, he pled guilty to obstructing justice and taking a minor across state lines for sex. And he was sentenced to 20 years in prison. In addition, Elizabeth Elizabeth's family sued the Board of Education and was awarded $650,000. Now, Elizabeth Thomas was interviewed for 2020 twice, once in 2017, once in 2022. And at the time of the 2022 interview, she was 21 years old, she was married, living in Tennessee, and she and her husband had a 2.5-year-old son, and she was doing much better and seemed pretty happy. So, that is the case. What do you think? I will tell you some of my thoughts. First of all, my heart goes out to Elizabeth for all that she went through. A lot of people from her town blamed her, especially in the beginning, because when he first got suspended, everyone was very angry with her because, well, the kids were, because he was the favorite teacher, and she must be lying, and she must be, making things up, and that's why he got suspended. But we know that's not true, but you know how kids can be. And even adults, when she was kidnapped, they were saying, well, she went willingly. She wanted to go. Which is pretty ignorant, because even if she seemed to have gone willingly, which it seems like she was kind of iffy, like she didn't really want to go. She did love him, but she didn't actually want to leave her home. She did want to be with him though, but anyway, if you are 15, you cannot choose to run off with a 50-year-old man. That's kidnapping no matter what. Even if it was her idea, which it wasn't. It's still kidnapping. And clearly he found a girl who was extremely vulnerable, who had been abused tremendously for years and years, and was having a hard time adjusting, and he played on that, which is despicable. And he fooled everyone. How did he fool everyone into thinking he was such a great guy? Like, that is something. It seems like there was just one person who saw through him, and that was his former coworker from the hospital. But everyone else, his wife, his kids,